Hello, and Jumbo. Welcome to this channel. Today, I want us to talk about effective ways we can communicate with our children so that we can be able to get along and at least we can be able to solve issues and the problems or the challenges that we have either in the classroom or wherever it is that you're interacting with the children. My name is Margaret Jeroge, and I have spent much of my career spending time with the children in the classroom, interacting with them. And some of these things are the things that I have used and I know they work. Not that I'm there yet, because communication, of course, you continue growing and growing. And the way you communicated to this child yesterday is not the same way you're going to communicate with another child. The way you communicate to a group of children is not the way you're going to communicate to the others. Even if it is the same child, that child is also growing. So the way you are talking to that child or communicate to that child when they are 2 is not the same way you're going to communicate to that child when they are 4. So let's talk about this. One of the things which I have found so effective is modeling the appropriate behavior that we expect to see. Whether we are interacting with the children or not, we are modeling the behavior, how we receive information, how we react, body language, what facial expression, or even when we are just quiet, they are watching on us how we are doing things. So the second one is we need to get to their eye level. Instead of shouting across the room or calling them out, walking to them, which I have found so effective. I make sure to speak to them eye level, making sure that they're watching me talk to them. The third one is use developmentally appropriate language. The way you can talk to a toddler is not the same way you can talk to a 4 or 5-year-old. For example, when you're giving instructions, let's say it's cleaning up time, a toddler, you can maybe just say, pick up that toy, then put it there. To a 4-year-old, you can give 4-point instructions. When you're done putting the toys, go ahead and clean them up, put them where they're supposed to be, and go ahead and put on your shoes. They can be able to follow in that order so that you are not really on their shoulders telling them, okay, now you're done playing. Now go ahead and clean up. It boggles their mind. The other one is be specific, clear, and to the point. When you use so many words in a sentence, and especially when you're giving instructions, the only thing the child hears is the first word and the last word. They don't hear anything in between. So then when you ask them, what did I say? They go, I don't know. The other thing is giving incentives. To motivate them. Motivation to expect the next thing. Just to know that there is the next thing, so that whatever it is that they are doing, they know there is a next thing. So that it is not so blank. We are not talking about whether they're going to do it or not. Make sure when you're using the incentive, you're using the when and not the if. So when you use the when, you empower them to make the decision of when they want to do the next of the things, and make sure that at least it is something exciting. When you're done with your homework, you can go ahead and play instead of saying if you are done, because if it is looking for compliance and you really already want compliance, or you are threatening, it's a threat word. If you do this, then you do this. What if they don't? So be mindful of that. The next one is use statements when you want compliance. Let me say that again. Use statements. Don't give open-ended questions. When do you want to put on shoes? They will tell you, no, I don't want. That means that when you want compliance, you are precise. It is time to go. Go ahead and put on your shoes. Not it is... I think it is time to go. I think you should go and put on your shoes. They will just look at you and say, no, I'm not ready. I'm not ready to go. Statements does not need any negotiations of when it is that you want things to be done. The next one is when you have that child who is having a beautiful tantrum for you and they cannot even be consoled. Make sure at least when you're communicating to them, because you cannot reach to have them either comply or maybe do whatever it is that you wanted them to do, just explain the feelings. Explain to them the emotion, name the emotion, and let them know that you see them or hear them. In fact, to me, this is the highest form of empathy. When you name the emotion, I notice you're very angry. I notice the tears coming down. You're not telling them that they're going to get whatever it is that they wanted, because if then you give them whatever they wanted, children are so goal-oriented. They will just be throwing that tantrum so that they can get this. what you're doing here, you are acknowledging exactly what the fear is, because that fear is real. And then you pivot out to help them get out of that tantrum, and then you can be able to communicate. The other one is give them positive feedback. For example, when we ask the children to clean up after they have played with the toys, or if they cleaned up even before we ask them, we can tell them using the words I noticed. I noticed that you picked up all the toys all by yourself and you put them on the shelf. It will be so much easier for us when we want to play with those toys next time. So describing the action, not the result, the action of what the child did, so that they can see the positive consequence or the positive things that they are doing to make life easier in the classroom. That gives them motivation next time to do the same. The next one is when you want to teach the natural consequences, you don't have to tell the child that natural consequence. You can lead them to understand and to know that could be a possibility. Let's say they're drinking the milk, and of course they're playing with that milk and they pour it themselves. You just let them know that is a consequence of you playing with the food without necessarily you being angry. Lead them there to discover the consequence of their behavior. That way, of course, you separate yourself from being the one who is leading and enforcing the rules. And then last, probably the most important, always connect before you correct. It is so important that you have built the relationship with that child before you start redirecting them to different kind of sort of things. You actually are more likely to have compliance. They want that relationship. And remember, the formative years are those years when children are just looking for ways to connect. Thank you so much. Let me know what has worked for you in the classroom by commenting below. Remember to subscribe. Let me know what you think. See you in the next video.